Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of my hardcore series. This episode, the first thing I want to do is build a moss farm because these flat plateaus take so much moss. Moss takes a long time to collect, so I'm going to do a moss farm. I'm going to build a moss farm, and I don't want to go to the nether, so if it can avoid fancy things like observers and comparators, that would be very nice. And I'm gonna build it in my basement. You know, I just looked on YouTube, searched up moss farms for Minecraft Java, and the first one that came up uses copper bulbs. I have not found a trial chamber, so I can't just steal them from it. And B, to craft them, you need a blaze rod. And there's only one place where you get blaze rod from nether fortresses. I am not killing blazes just so I can get moss. No, next tutorial. Success, I found a tutorial that doesn't use copper bulbs. I may or may not have run into a problem. I found a tutorial that doesn't use copper bulbs, but it uses comparators. Comparators need quartz. Quartz is in the nether. I said I wasn't gonna go to the nether. I don't want to go to the nether. I'm not prepared for this. I found a moss farm that doesn't use comparators, observers, so I don't need quartz. Fun, good. I'm sure I can build it. Following tutorials are easy, but I do have to get the materials. I don't know if I have enough redstone for this. Hopefully I do. Oh yeah. That should be fine. I can use this barrel to put this stuff in. There's no dimensions. I'm gonna put it under here. I also don't know how big this hole is. Oh, this is going great. And I'm assuming it's square. 13. Of course it is. It might be a little bit too small. The video does not have dimensions, and neither does the comments. I'm talking about dimensions for the overall farm. This is fine. This is totally fine. It may need to be slightly bigger, but I think I'll make it work. It'll be fine. Everything will be wonderful. I have all of the items. I'll take everything as a mere suggestion. Everything will be fine. Yeah. I don't think the tutorial guy expected me to build it floating in a hole. So I've just added that's a bone meal input and a moss output, so I can sort what I bone meal, because I want the moss blocks but nothing else. Okay, I have 10 bone meal, so if I put it in here, it should just go through into here. Yes. Now I think it's stuck in there because of that, because the hopper's getting powered, so it's locking the hopper. And I did consider that a possibility, but I think it'll be fine, because when I turn it on, it just does that. So there you go. It will go down. Okay, I think it's working. Now, I'm aware that this area needs a bit of decorating. it's very difficult to traverse, and it's ugly. Okay, so it's out of bone meal, so I'm going to turn that off. I want this on-off switch to be moved as well, so I can actually reach it. Because I've decided these 5 dirt blocks are basically where a platform's going to be. So I can easily get at the inputs and the outputs for this farm. But that, 10 bone meal, I think that's very good. I don't know where I got this from. I think I just picked it up off the ground. Because, in case you didn't notice, there's kind of moss everywhere. I was growing moss in this hole. What are you doing? What are you doing? Go away. Might have to change this to shelves. Because these little guys perceive shelves as full blocks. So if you have a 2-block gap and you have a shelf here and a shelf here, you can walk through it just fine. But these guys have no idea. They think it's a solid wall. So they're a bit silly. They got lacking brain. What? Why? I think they get confused. I think they think trapdoors they're not real. So over here, I'm gonna put just a little auto composting thing for me. This is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Put one there. So trying to make it like as low as possible. I could probably do that. However, I have a better idea. Same height. That's the same height. And it doesn't block that. There you go. Not sure. I'm not sure if I'll get 10 bone meal back from that. I don't know. Is that? Oh, it's not working. Yeah, I've realised. I don't think they go into the side like I thought they did. That's not fair. Whatever, it'll just have to be super tall like that. We'll leave that and see what we get. It may have to be, to make this farm fully self-sufficient, I might have to chuck some of this moss in, which feels counterintuitive. We got 3 bone meal. If we're exclusively after moss blocks, this farm is not self-sufficient. However, we get things like seeds from the wheat farm that we can just chuck in. So there are options. I think this needs a bit of decorating because this is very bad. So yeah, let's decorate, I guess. There we go. A little floor. I didn't bring enough blocks for this. I don't think I have enough wood for this, to be honest. I've used up quite a lot of my wood. I might have to chop some trees. There's a creeper in my cow pen. That's not very polite. That's not... No. I don't have a bow. And I know that if I try and hit it without a bow, it's just gonna explode, and I don't want that either. I don't even have the materials to make a bow. I don't have any string, but I have 2 arrows, which is... I don't know where I got those from. I can't just leave it there, can I? I mean, at some point it's gonna despawn. Question is, can I? Can I do this? Aha! Ha ha ha! I'm not housebound after all. Just avoid the cow pen. Oh, Okay. This is fine. I think I'm gonna go check on my iron farm. I'm gonna go leave. I'm gonna leave. Hopefully they'll be gone by the time I get back. We can hope. Still see the creeper. Is it gone? No, it's not. Oh, there's a guy. He looks frozen. It's probably been there a while. How have you... Oh, for goodness sake. You're kidding. One singular block. I feel like they shouldn't be able to spawn like that. I think that's mean. But I do have my flint and steel on me, so I do have the solution. I just have to get over there. And now we wait. Hang on a minute, it's in that block, kind of. There you go. That should prevent that. Guess I'm sleeping here tonight. Going home with my profits. And there appears to be no creeper. That is what we like to see. My pumpkin doesn't seem to be doing very well. And the pillager's gone too, I think. Let's go. My unwanted guests have left. What I find interesting is how slowly the copper golems oxidize compared to the chests. Like, that has been green a good couple times, and I've used my axe on it, where this guy is just hasn't even gone to pink. And he doesn't check. He didn't check the second one, did you? Did you? No, it just walked off. Okay. That's interesting to know. Don't give it food. Wait for my trees to grow. And just do the walls. I think I'll keep this wall stone brick. I might even make this one stone brick. But I'll probably make this one stone brick walls. So it's just a bit thinner. But these walls are going to be wood. Kind of mimic the colour scheme I've got going on with my house. Don't really know what to do with the ceiling area, so... But it's getting better. Now I need to rewire the on-off switch to be here. I need some blocks for that. And some redstone. Do I have redstone? I do. Would you look at that? I have redstone. I think on this side we're gonna have a go at seeing what stone looks like versus the walls. I mean, I don't think that's a fair comparison actually, because there's only one block. The room is not central. Ooh, is that annoying? That is most definitely annoying. But the thing is, I can push this wall back, but is there any point? Because I mean, the thing is, it's even on the barrels, but not even over here. And if I make it even over here, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. It doesn't need to be, it's fine. Like, it doesn't need to be even on here. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the wall situation, because something would have to be here. I'd have to have some kind of trim, but then I'd have to add the trim to everything, and I don't know. I'm just gonna put it there for now, and I can always move it if I don't like it, because I also have the ceiling that I need to decide on. I have so many things I need to decide what I want to do. Yeah, I did put my 8 bone meal in this barrel, so when I removed that, I did accidentally turn the farm on. Kind of knew that was going to happen, and it's fine. No harm done. Obviously, behind the ladder needs a little bit of something. And a torch. Where should I put the torch? Put the torch here. Or put it there. That's more central. There we go. Knowing when to turn off this farm will be basically based off of sound when I hear the dispenser failing, because I can't see, like, to be able to see is too high. Like, I could technically put a line of glass here, but even then, stood down here, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. The point is, I mean, the outside of it is a bit worse for wear, and the underneath, yeah, that's ugly. But this part, much better. This is the only part that matters. Ignoring the ceiling, I don't know what to do with the ceiling. And it's kind of awkward transitioning from a ladder to stairs, but if I put a ladder here, it would be off center. The stairs look better. I actually managed to do that without chopping any wood. I was expecting to have to mine some trees. However, I think for the ceiling I will. I'm thinking of adding a trim, because on my house here, and on the inside too, I use spruce logs for framing. While I don't use it for any horizontal framing, it is totally vertical. I'm thinking here, down here, just along here. I feel like this particular column needs to be pushed back. It looks off because it makes that be pushed into the wall. And for here it kind of works, but here it kind of doesn't. Ignoring the fact that that totally blocks off the chest. That's another reason to push that back. I've seemed to have removed all of the blocks I had in my inventory that I was using to build this. Fun. I mean, that's still hollow. That bit is now hollow. That's fine. It's such a small thing that I can see very much. Hang on. Can I do anything about that? There you go. I think we just ignore the fact that it's in the floor. I mean, those are in the wall. And then make the ceiling like this. Then you can still open the chest. It's just a little trim. I know obviously behind the ladder it's still plain stone and, you know, dirt up there, but it's fine, because up here I don't really know what to do. It's an interior. There's no exterior. Like this bit, ugly. Not too bad. Ugly. Eventually I'll probably add walls so you can't see the ugly stuff. you'll only have access to the nice stuff. But that's future me's problem. I think that fence needs to be dark oak. Oh. I forgot it was super close to lava. I want it to be wood though. Okay, what other options do I have? I could make the wall copper. I could make that specific bit copper, but I don't have any wax. I don't have any wax for that. I might have to make it out of stone brick. Oh, it just looks so much colder being completely stone. Oh, fine. If that side's stone, then this side has to be stone too, because otherwise it's just one wall of wood and it just looks wrong. But it means we can keep that as spruce. Oh, for goodness sake, not again. I'm out of stone brick. It needs to change just in case it catches fire again. Just don't make it flammable. Yay. Now, it might seem crazy, and to be honest, I don't use diorite a lot, but it's either that or andesite. My 3 options are diorite, andesite, or deep slate. Andesite, I think, is too close to stone, which is what we have on the walls. Deep slate is too dark, so it might be best to just do diorite, which I've forgotten about the whole slab thing. We are going to have a comparison between the polished and the not. I prefer how the polished is lighter. However, I'm less keen on the grid. The grid feels like ceiling tiles, not gonna lie. But then this just feels like, you know, in the ground. Like, because we're underground as well, that doesn't help. I think the tile pattern will work because it's a small build. You're close up, it's fine. It'll be fine. I mean, that doesn't look as bad as I thought it might. I think it's fine. It'll do. It's better than it being burnt. I'm gonna wait until this copper oxidizes before I decide whether I like it or not. This is fine that I don't have wax because I'm going blue with this to match the cold theme. But I may decide that I hate it, and in which case I'll tear it up and just put stone brick and call it done. But I liked the dark trim that the spruce logs gave when I had it wood. So I may... that's why I was thinking, oh, what if I just put blue? Make it blue. Copper's the only blue thing I have, so we'll give it a go. And more of my trees have grown. I have 2 stacks and 43 from the wheat field. So I'm just going to chuck them in there. Add it to my bone meal stash. 12 bone meal. Let's go. Now that we've built a moss farm that looks very lovely from the outside, totally. The inside's not too bad. It's not exactly what I had in mind. I did prefer it in wood, but it also was setting alight, and I couldn't have that. Now that we have one farm down here, I think it's time to work on another farm. The farm I'm thinking of is a wheat farm. Now, getting wheat I can't actually make fully automatic, but I can make it semi-automatic. To be fair, the moss farm is also semi-automatic, so it's fine. It'll also clear this area out so I can terraform here. Obviously in the long-term plans of my base, I'll have to have a wheat farm somewhere, but I think that little area would be nicer as a beach. So I'm going to build myself a semi-automatic wheat farm. And I don't think I need a tutorial for this. That's how confident I am in my redstone skills. The first job of this, though, is to mine out the area. I'm gonna need some space. I could moss it, but I've had enough with moss. I will need ladders though. I'm gonna give you a beautiful time lapse that will totally look awesome.
We now also won't be able to test it out until these are all grown. Whoops. That's fine. In the meantime, I can do other things. It's the bit behind my house that looks a bit off, which from this angle, yeah, it just looks a bit, it kind of blends because it's brown, but it's a different shade of brown, but it's brown. It needs changing. It's also hard to tell. I can't get a good angle on this. We're going to have to get up close and personal. Okay, here we are. This back here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Something is happening. And it's ugly. Basically. I hate it. I want it to be much more cliffy. Like, this is far too much hill. I need it to be more cliff. So it needs to be a fair bit steeper. This inlet needs to go. But this, no, it's relatively shallow. I want it all to be steeper. And then there's also this whole lava pool thing, which is actually a fair bit bigger than I originally thought. So I think that's just going to end up getting covered up. But basically this back cliff needs a lot more work than what I did on the front cliff. Like, this was relatively easy. I only mildly reshaped it. But the back, ooh. The back I've been putting off because it's slightly more out my comfort zone. I'm freestyling it more. Smaller cliffs, I was sticking slightly more to what was originally given to me. I was just altering it, but this, I feel like I'm doing more myself, and that makes me nervous. I've started the texturing. I've done a little bit, mostly where I did the shaping, and I started sort of flowing it around the side, but it's difficult to see. I'm struggling to do it. It just doesn't look as good as what's going on down here. Like, this up here, it just doesn't look as good as this. And I'm not really sure why, and I'm getting tired of tweaking it and I'm running out of time. I'm also struggling to find a good angle so you can see what I've done. That's kind of better. You can see I've mossed some of the platforms. I kind of stopped here because I didn't know what was going on up here because I hadn't shaped any of that. I did sort of shape more further back here, but I haven't textured it because I just don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm actually out of time for this episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next episode. Goodbye!